This video is about virility, virtue, and the universal moral argument. First of all, when we talk about Kuro Obi black belt, right, obviously we look at this thing, it's where is the right black man's place? Shaka Zulu, Narmer, these martial art kings, who are they? What qualities do they have? What place do they have in a universal martial art order? A human martial art order, if you will. Right away, we see the traditional argument fail. There are many traditions all over the world. They all think they're right about God. They all think they're chosen. They all think they know better. We just simply have to make a quick example of the idea of a tradition of serial rapists and killers, just utter scum, who insist on being evil and insist that it should be seen as good. For us to see that this traditional argument is not good enough. In other words, none of them could possibly be right. They don't have a compelling enough argument, and the closest thing to it is moral and mental clarity. If they don't have that, their tradition fails, and you must, if they don't have that more than everyone else, naturally, their tradition fails because it's based on the people that came before them, and we must discard it. Who are you to say that your tradition is right? And this is where sparring comes from, sparring, spirit. Who's actually in the spirit of righteousness? Who's the right guy? So where's the black guy's place in the martial art order? Well, we all know that the sport gene favors them, but which one? Okay. And how can we ignore these people who are the most marginalized and disenfranchised, generally speaking, in the world? It's pretty much that simple. There is no way to avoid this argument. Furthermore, for one to truly grasp the true point of the Bible, they have to take a martial art view of it and be in the divine order. And the next best thing is the reason, and you must consider how martial arts factor in. That leads us to Isaiah 11:5. Righteousness will be his belt, and faithfulness the sash around his waist. Okay. Ephesians 6:14. Stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness. So here we have in Isaiah, it is, is belt around his waist, right? Belt, Kuro, Obi, black belt, Obi backwards is Ibo. And then we have a breastplate of righteousness. Then in Revelations, 1:13, I believe it is. Yes, it is a golden sash around the chest. So the breast and the chest, okay? The heart under the chest. What is over it? The breastplate of righteousness, the golden sash. And the sash, going back to Isaiah and Ephesians, right, is a sash slash belt slash buckler. We have righteousness, we have faithfulness, we have truth. Ephesians 6:14. Stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place. Of course, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. What is his name? Whoever is the true top martial artist, okay, that's the name of God, because just like Jesus said to his disciples, he who sees the Father sees the Son. He who sees the Son sees the Father, because the Father is in the Son and the Son in the Father. So that spirit inside of him, which is the spirit of righteousness that has caused him to tell the truth, okay? Even if other people are trying to manipulate his words with technology, for example, this is still the truth that is supposed to come through him. He is still the rallying point. The point of life is to obey God through him, and to have conquered your ego and your lower self, and on and on and on, to obey God through him. And of course, we have the martial art principles. Regular people don't focus on these principles like martial artists do. They don't work on their mind, body, soul, and spirit like martial artists do. Which also goes back to the word vir, which means man. Virtue and virility. So who is the ideal man? The person who refines these points. Determination, moral toughness, moral clarity, moral will, moral intelligence, moral precision. Okay? And of course, in Exodus 3:14, God says to Moses, I am who I am. Go tell the Israelites, I am who I am has sent me to you. So God is a warrior. I am who I am. The belt, the sash, the buckler, righteousness, faithfulness, truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the golden sash in Revelations around the chest of Jesus, which is the sash of heart, the righteousness, these ideas. So God is a moral warrior, the spirit of righteousness, the spirit of truth, the spirit of true love. These are the important points that God reveals himself as. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-good. And that life, therefore, is a martial art test. It cannot be understood outside the realm of martial arts. This is a test. Why did this happen to you? Because this is part of training. Why did people die in war? Because that's part of war. Why is it painful to lift weights or to run or to really exert yourself in the most demanding exercise, which is martial arts? Because this is part of the training. This is part of the test. This is part of the process. Okay, and those who fail the process, they die on the battlefield. Though if they in vain. Okay, unless they die a hero. Those who fail at life, they get discarded. They don't die in a way that's right with God. It is that simple. So what we see is that this guy, of course the word belt, right? They try to inject their bitch, bell, ball, and belt, okay? But it's really the Obi, right? So where's the language coming from? It's coming from the Latin root, which are the guys who crucified Jesus with those traitor Jews that kind of wanted to, get the Messiah killed. Okay, and of course they have a long history of killing the prophets. Jerusalem is described as a prostitute, described as killing the prophets. You can kind of get what's going on. It's the people who know better, the tree of knowledge. They know better, the chosen people and whoever else that knows better versus a guy that God chose through martial arts who came to bring a sword. It's pretty straightforward. You're pretty insane if you don't see it this way. You're stupid if you think anyone should be seen as more ideal because of your tradition or your race than the top martial artist. And you're stupid if you think it doesn't end with me. Of course it does. Okay? How can anyone breed in a way that I don't